What can you do for me? That's the lower A. Every moment a person is thinking, what can I give right now? What can I do for you? That's the upper A. What can I get? What can I give? We learn that the transformation we're going through in the world is that we're learning to make our giving more important than our getting. Right? The moment we come to truly care for one another in this world, the same way we care about ourselves, that's what's called tikkun olam. And then that's the moment we're finally going to be ready to experience all of it. The way they give this for us is we can imagine that the top of the picture was all white. We can imagine that the letter Hey fell out of here, fell down to the bottom. We learn that all the spiritual work of our life is to bring the letter Hey back up. Right? To bring the part of ourselves that's caring only for the self, the part that's truly caring for everybody. That inner transformation of consciousness, like reaching a state of unconditional love, and becoming ready to experience all the goodness, that's the inner learning of all of Judaism, which is the subject of the Kabbalah. Same idea with a couple more details in this picture. This one is also connected to Rosh Hashanah, to the New Year. Can you tell? I come to Rosh Hashanah here. So on Rosh Hashanah we blow the shofar. Anybody know how many sounds we blow in the shofar? That's right, we blow 4 different ones. And if you count up how many sounds we blow the entire day, for the whole day we blow a total of 100 sounds. And we blow the 100 sounds in a very particular pattern passed down to us in ancient times. We learn in the Kabbalah that this pattern is actually a very deep spiritual map of 100 aspects of love within every person. So this is mapping out the ancient pattern of the shofar blowing. It's mapping out in triangle. From the bottom row there's one triangle representing the first sound of tekiah, a single sound. Like doo. And the next line up we have 3 triangles for the shvarim. Doo, doo, doo. And we have the trua. It's mapping like this with the pattern of the 100 sounds. And in the deeper teachings of the Kabbalah, we start to learn very, very deep things from this pattern. Like really deep aspects of a person's inner spiritual development. But the basic idea, the lowest levels when a person's caring only about themselves, doesn't care about anybody else. Every level going up, it comes to more and more truly care for everybody, which is all the higher states of consciousness. I've been working with shofar blowing for, I don't know, something like 10 years now. So most of the pictures you see in this room, all the ones with lines and triangles, almost every single one is shofar blowing, just mapped out in a lot of different ways. Yeah, of all the pictures, I think this one's my favorite. This one's a verse from the Torah. It says here, Ein Od Milvado, which you can translate, there is nothing but God. This is really, really deep. What could it possibly mean? There's nothing but God, you know? What does it mean, God? Let alone what could it mean? There's nothing but God. There's thousands of pages in the Kabbalah discussing what these 3 words could possibly mean. But one of the ideas is that we learn in the Kabbalah that absolutely nothing in our life is a coincidence. We learn that there's not one thing in this entire world that's happening by chance. We learn that everything that we're going through in our lives, even the problems, the troubles, the difficulties, we learn that every single thing is happening for a very exact and divine reason. And we learn that ultimately the reason for everything we're going through is that everything's actually helping our souls to become ready to experience all the good things. This is the Kabbalah, the person who really needs going on in their life, because every single one of us would be chanting for joy non-stop every second. Why God? Because every single one of us is right now getting ready to experience infinite goodness forever. We can't even imagine. This is, of course, the hardest possible thing for anyone to actually realize in their life right now. Because this goodness is completely hidden from us right now. For lots of reasons discussed in the Kabbalah. But this is talked about in the Kabbalah, one of the most powerful meditations a person can reach out their entire life. Just trying to realize that everything we're going through right now is part of something so beyond that we can understand in this moment. Something very interesting connected to this idea that there's no coincidences is that it says in the Kabbalah that it's not a coincidence that a person's name is. It's very interesting. It says that when parents name their children, it says it's not a coincidence the name is given. And it says that every person's soul has a very deep connection to their name. According to the Kabbalah, because it's just by finding out the inner meanings of our name, because we can find out a lot about what's going on in our own personal life on a spiritual level. So anybody that has a Hebrew name, you would take our Hebrew name, because our Hebrew name is our deepest name. says in the Kabbalah that a person's name is such a big deal. It says if a person is to change their name, that on some level they're changing everything along with them. And like our name is like a spiritual energy we're each working with, like all the time, not even realizing it. And I saw this in my own life in a very real way because I was given the name Abraham when I was born, but I was also given an English name, Robert. Most of my life I was using my English name. It wasn't the one that I was thinking about, and I was like, well, you know, Robert's a nice name, I like it a lot. But Abraham, I named after my great-grandfather. He's named after his ancestor, he's named after his ancestor, he's named after his ancestor. Whoa, for like 4,000 years straight. I was like, whoa, Abraham's my deepest name. It was like this realization. And I started to ask people to call me Abraham instead of Robert. At first it was really strange for me, like somebody would call my name, I don't even know they were talking to me, pull out the Easter. And then when I started to find out the inner meanings of Abraham, I was just like, no way, how about it's inside of a word? Guys, it's so deep, it's in a name. And every name represents a very specific spiritual energy now. And we can learn about our names our whole lives, deep and deep names. I've been learning about Abraham for over 10 years now, and there's lots more to go. It's like one word, you know? I was just like, find out all this stuff in Adam. I was like, I can't believe you carried this my whole life, I'm just so powerful. I have no idea what it was. And I was just like the most simple level. Before I'd be walking down the street, someone would call my name. Hey, Robert, what's up? Someone call my name, you know? Nice name. Then I'm walking down the street, someone calls my name. Hey, Abraham, what's up? Just in someone calling my name Abraham, there's like 4,000 years of energy in that, you know? There's somebody like calling my name. When I started to get that, it was very powerful thing for me. Anyway, the reason why I bring this down in a very short time together right now is because a lot of us growing up in the States, a lot of us have English names and also Hebrew names. A lot of us haven't yet really connected to our Hebrew names. Most of us don't use them. Most of us don't know the inner spiritual meanings of our name. It says in the Kabbalah that a person's name is a very deep part of a person's spiritual self. It's a very big thing in the Kabbalah, connecting to our names, finding out about our names. If for some reason a person doesn't have a Hebrew name, it's a very exciting thing. Again, we get to choose our Hebrew name. That's like a huge life decision. That's something I want to talk to like a rabbi about, spiritual advisor about. We learned that if a person's choosing their Hebrew name, we learn that they're actually discovering what their name already is. That's just like a whole long discussion of itself. A lot of you guys here also have English names and Hebrew names?
Yeah.
I know for me, when I started to connect to my Hebrew name, and I started to use it, I started to like get it, I was just like, man, I could so easily have gone through my entire life and never really known my name. I mean, that's crazy. You know, Robert's also my name. Robert's also 100% really and truly my name. But I feel like, at least for me, I feel like if I would have gone through my whole life just using my English name, I feel like it would have been a tragedy. I mean, I've been Avram in my family for 4,000 years straight. It's a name I was given at my bris when I was born. It's a name that's written on my ketubah. It's a name they're going to write on my gravestone when I die. It's like my name. So guess what I'm trying to say? For any of you guys that have Hebrew names, you should know our Hebrew names. Don't say our names. There are Jesus' names. These names are so spiritual. They're like, really, really holy, you know? We're not going to do it, you know, if we went around the room right now and everybody said their name, everybody's got a beautiful name, you know? Everybody needs beautiful. If we went around this room and everybody had a Hebrew name and said their Hebrew name, guys, these names are diamonds. They're like really, really holy. They're like super spiritual. Some of these names go back in our families for thousands of years straight. Some of these names are like ancient names, you know? We got like so assimilated the past couple of generations, a lot of us have kind of like forgotten our names. It's a very big thing in Kabbalah, like reclaiming our names, connecting to our names, learning about our names. It's a very powerful spiritual energy. And again, if for some reason a person doesn't have a Hebrew name, it's a very same process in discovering that Hebrew name. Anyways, I just want to throw out like one last idea and then we can talk about whatever you want. You know, if you guys just think about the fact that we're sitting here together right now in the land of Israel, we're sitting here in the Holy City of Tzfat for a couple minutes together. And guys, it's such a miracle. We're sitting here in Israel right now, right? And it's like a real thing miracle. We forget about it. We get caught in our daily lives and all this kind of stuff. You know, just for a big perspective, 2,000 years ago, we were the nation of Israel. We were all living in the land of Israel. We were a holy spiritual nation. We were on such a high spiritual level, the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't remember what we were. 2,000 years ago, we fell from our spiritual level. We kicked out of the land of Israel, spread through the whole world. We left with an ancient prophecy, an ancient tradition, that one day, way in the future, we'd be gathered from all the world, brought back to the land of Israel, once again become a spiritual nation, and be part of the whole era of world peace coming out in the world. Seems like the ancient prophecy, tradition, that was 2,000 years ago. It's so long ago. After 2,000 years, 70 years ago, which is just yesterday, just people still remember it, literally 70 years ago, we were in the Holocaust. Just the other day, if you think about it. In the past 70 years, in front of our eyes, Russia falls, the Jews come back to Israel. South Africa falls, the Jews come back to Israel. Ethiopia, the Jews come back to Israel. France, South America, Morocco, Yemen, Iraq. In the past 70 years, almost half the Jewish people are back in the land of Israel from every country in the world after 2,000 years. Like millions and millions of people. Like, you guys get it? Straight out miracle! Nothing like this has ever happened in human history. Nothing even close. We are just dreaming back. It's happening so fast in front of our eyes, we don't even realize it's happening. Like, I'm from Detroit. Like, what am I doing here? For most of us, our parents and our grandparents, even some of our great-grandparents, were not very connected to Judaism. We got, like, completely disconnected. It's a long story. But for almost every single one of us, if not, I'm sure, every single one of us sitting here right now, our great-great-grandparents and their parents and their parents, say that like 200 times. For the past 4,000 years, our personal ancestors have been living Judaism full time, through their entire lives, 4,000 years. So in the past couple of generations, we got completely disconnected from them. Maybe not the past couple of generations, but our personal ancestors have been lighting Shabbos candles every Friday night for 4,000 years straight. I mean, can you like imagine how long that is? That's like from ancient times. Like we go back straight to ancient times. Maybe not the past couple generations, but our personal ancestors for the past 2,000 years have been praying every single day, 3 times a day.